Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. So we are in the last session for the Fusion Fixed Assets webinar. So till now we have seen the fixed assets configurations, which are the required configurations, and the transactions that are there, like adding the assets manually or through spreadsheets, and then the mass addition, split and merge mass additions asset lines, and other relevant and related concepts like retirement, impairment, um, retirement, then revaluation. And we have also seen how we can reinstate the asset, and the depreciation, how the depreciation is run, and the mass copy. These topics also we have covered. We were seeing in yesterday's session the transfer of the asset, but we have just seen how to manage that from the asset workbench manually. Today we will be beginning from there only, as it is yesterday's topic. So first we will see how transfer of asset is performed through the spreadsheet, and then we will be beginning with our today's agenda, which is relating to cash generating units. These are the optional setups. If required by our organization, we can have these required setups as cash generating units, asset price indexes, asset distribution sets, then fixed assets profile option, and lookups. If you want to create the lookups, then you can create them. Then what are the descriptive fields and the physical inventory that we can manage in the fixed assets. After that, we will be seeing how create accounting process is run. We will be seeing the general entries, and we will try to create one adjustment entry. And we'll see the create accounting process and the execution reports and all. So let's begin with our today's session. So let's move to the instance and complete the transfer of asset using the spreadsheet, which is our yesterday's topic. So this is my instance. I'll go to assets workbench. So here from the task list, transfer asset in spreadsheet task, we need to select, click on next. After book is selected, and a template will be downloaded. Click on open file. It will ask you to log in, enable editing. Yes. Okay. I'll have to open this. Okay, I'll cross this, and then let me copy the password. Close this. From downloads, open file, enable editing. Yes. Casey Brown. Now let me just okay, I'll come to the instance again. Now any asset we can pick which we will be transferring to another another location or something. Let me search if any asset is available. Okay, I'll check in the so say this is a company car. Okay, so this company car is having the location in US, California, Los Angeles. So let's transfer this to some other location. So transaction group I can give as demo. And interface line number 1. Asset number I need to provide. So I'll provide the asset number as 110040 search. When you will select this company car, the below assignment will come. This is the current assignment that the asset is having. Transaction type you can provide transfer. Posting status you can provide as post or new. I will provide post. Transfer date you can provide as 25th of Feb. Then total units is, this is our current assignment, and the new assignment we will provide. So unit 1, this is the account code combination for depreciation account that we are not changing. We'll change the country name. Okay, so let's select the combination, and let's say in USA. Okay, if I'll do the blank search, all the combinations that are there will be available. So for this asset, let me just, USA, California, Los Angeles is there. We will pick USA, California, Atlanta office, or any other you can pick. So I am picking this one. Okay, now I'll select as okay. This is selected. Okay, so the details have now been filled. Just try to post. Okay, insert failed. Let us see what's the error it is giving. Still the process is running. Okay, so we haven't provided the expense account. I will provide the same code combination here. Let me just paste it here. So my company code is see, if I want to change my line of business, as my legal entity is still the same 101, and the count is 68. Sorry. $68,150 is the depreciation account. If I want to change my line of business to 20 now, 20, 30, whatever you be your line of business in which this asset is now being used, now will be used, you can provide that. And Now you try posting this. Yeah, so row inserted successfully, we can see. Okay, now let's move to the instance and we will re-navigate to this place. My asset number is 11040. So this is my company car, and in transaction I can see now the asset is moved to the new location and the depreciation account is now changed. US California Atlanta office is the new location. So this way, for one or many asset, we can perform the transfer from this page, sorry, from this spreadsheet. So this was a topic which was remaining from yesterday's session as the time was up. So let's move to our today's topic now. So the cash generating unit is a concept which we can define in our fixed assets as an optional setup. Cash generating unit is the small identifiable group of assets that generates cash inflows from continuing use and is largely independent of the cash inflows from other assets or a group of assets. Say there is some asset or group of assets which your company is using and it is generating cash inflows from its use, and uh, you want to now impair that asset. So how will you do the whole thing? Means to the all assets, how will you apply the impairment? So you can create a cash generating unit and then you can perform that. So I'll provide you one of the example for the mining enterprise, how we can use the cash generating units. So a mining enterprise owns a private railway. Say a mining enterprise owns a private railway to support its mining activities. Now this private railway can be sold only for the scrap value. And now it does not generate any cash inflows from its continual use. So how this we will do? So we can so what the problem is, it isn't possible to estimate the recoverable amount for that private railway because its value in use cannot be determined, and probably is different from its value as scrap. The solution can be the entity needs to estimate the recoverable amount of that cash generating unit to which the railway provides services, say the mine as a whole. So how you can implement this? You can create a cash generating unit which will be representing the entire mining enterprise so that the impairment loss can be calculated for the mine as a whole and then allocated to all the assets that are there in your cash generating unit. We can create a cash generating unit representing the entire mining enterprise so that the impairment loss can be calculated. If an impairment transaction occurred for an asset in that current period, then cash generating unit assignment cannot be changed in the current period unless you roll back the impairment. So we have seen the impairment process yesterday for a single asset that we can apply for a cash generating unit if a cash generating unit is created for our organization. So let's see how cash generating units can be created. Let's move to the instance. It's very easy. Just you need to go to the setup and maintenance, fixed assets, under the financials. So as it is a optional task, in all tasks it will be visible. Manage cash generating unit. This is the task. So you have to click on add icon. book, to which book does this cash generating unit relates to? Provide that book name. And you need to enable it, just this, and then save and close. So then your this cash generating unit will be available in the impairments. So this is about the cash generating unit. Now moving to asset price indexes. So price index is normally the is a normalized average, typically a weighted average of prices for a given class of goods or service in a given region during a given interval of time. Price index help you to compare how these prices taken as a whole differ between the time period or the geographical locations. Oracle Assets uses the changes in price index value to revalue the asset cost or the net book value. Based on the market value, these price index are calculated, and based on these price indexes, you can revalue your assets. If you are using any asset for a long period of time and now the price index has is different, say land, if you are having a land and you have purchased it way back for a very nominal amount, and now due to the price index the price has rise a lot. So using these price index you can revalue those assets. A price index is associated to an asset through its asset category. By default, assets uses the price index assigned to the asset category to calculate revaluation amount. But if you can override the default price index and recalculate the revaluation amounts for an asset, that is possible. You can even override your default price index that is available in your asset categories. Assets assigned to the categories without a default price index should be excluded from a revaluation. There can be assets which are assigned to a category where this default price index should not be applied, so you can remove it when at the time of revaluation. So I'll show you how in the instance you can define these indexes. One of the index has been created. We'll look into that. So in the instance, this is the task, manage asset price indexes. This is the one which is created, UK price index. So you can see we have to provide the description, the calendar name to which it is associated, and the calendar description is provided. Now you can see for Jan to December 22, the indexes value have been defined. If you want to add UK price index value and you click on add, fiscal year will be added. This year will be added 2023. You can see for Jan to December, the whole period is added. Jan to December, the whole period is added. And as per the data provided, you can update these index value. By default, the system has taken the index value which was there for December 22. But if you want, you can change these values. So this is how we can define the price indexes. I'll click on cancel. This is the way. Just after that you need to save and close. So, and for creating the new, you can always use the add icon. Say if I create for US, you can provide your calendar name. So say fin SVS monthly calendar, and you will then add the year next. Then the value is 0, so you need to provide the value for each of the months. So say 285.2 50, and likewise you can provide the value. This you need to assign to your asset categories. First you create it and then you specify this price index to your asset categories. So this is the way how we can define the price indexes. Let's move to the next topic. Asset distribution sets. Asset distribution sets will help you assign automatically a predefined set of one or more distributions to an asset. When you select a distribution set, assets automatically enter the distributions for you. You can define a distribution set to allocate percentages of asset units to different depreciation expense accounts, location, and employees. You can define one or more distributions in a set. You can also change the distribution information for a distribution set at any time. But if you change the distribution information for a distribution set, it may not affect the assets which are already assigned to a distribution set. Means it will be applicable from means from when you will apply it, and then it will be applicable prospectively, not retrospectively. So we'll go in the instance and see how we can define these asset distribution sets. So this is the task, manage asset distribution sets. If I search, no such distribution sets have been created, as I'm telling you that these are the optional setups. People generally there are no setups in this area, but yeah, if your client wants, you can have it. So what will this do for a book? Like if I create demo distribution set, book you can take as US Corp, and if you want you can provide the date placed in service, to which date placed in service those assets will be required to follow this distribution set. So unit percentage means how much percentage of a asset, like 50%, will be depreciated to one of the depreciation account. You can provide here the distribution account 16850. Okay, and then location, to which location these 50% of the value shall be located. This location you can provide. And building is manufacturing or something, office. Okay, so this way I can provide if there is any specific employee to this which has to look after this asset, then you can provide that also. Likewise you can provide the distribution set. You can have a different company name here. Means say if I have added a set, if I have added a asset value, and some of the depreciation I am allocating to a different account, as my asset is being used in two of the locations, I can bifurcate it 50-50% to both of the expense account and to both of the location. This way I can do creating a a distribution set for that asset. Say my asset is used for some other line of business. Okay, I can also specify the cost centers, like for development it is being used, or for some US operation it is being used, then I can bifurcate it accordingly. So this way I can have my distribution sets created. Location can be same. Then while creating the asset, I can specify this distribution set. If I change this to say 130, I have taken as development, and apart from development it is being used for some US operations. So half of my depreciation will be will be allocated to 130 cost center, and half of my depreciation will be allocated to 121 cost center, and location is same for the asset. I can use this distribution set by just specifying when the asset is created. So this way I can create the distribution sets. Now the fixed assets profile options. We can set the profile options to specify how Oracle Asset controls access to and process the data. So this can be, the profile option can be set for number of requests you can run in parallel, the timing diagnostic message value, the amount of database information retained in a concurrent process, and cache reset values, the batch size used for bulk processing in mass processes, and the book selected by default in asset page. So this you can define. If I talk about the parallel request number, this profile option controls the number of requests you can run in parallel for asset processes that can run in parallel. You can enter here number 1 to 20. Let's move in the instance, and there I will talk about them. So this is fixed assets profile option. So if I do a blank search here, I can see different profile option codes are there. So this is the one which I am talking about, parallel request. This controls the number of requests to run in parallel for those assets program that can run in parallel. So here you can specify at the profile level. Profile level is site. How many program can run. So 1 to 15 options are there. So this will help you identify the processes that can run at the same time. For example, if you set the value to 5, you can run multiple depreciation processes, five depreciation processes. Okay, this way you can specify the profile option. Now second one is timing diagnostic. Timing diagnostic help you to print the timing diagnostic message in the program log file. This support personnel can use as a tool to identify problem with the code. This disables printing of time information. Okay, so this you can also enable by creating add icon here at site level. You can provide the profile value as yes or no, means you want to print the timing diagnostic message or not. This you can specify from here. Yes or no options are available. Then cache sizing factor is available. This profile option controls the amount of database information retained in concurrent process for performance improvement. So here if you see what is the profile value available for site. So profile value are available till 25. So you can set the number from 1 to 25. The number you enter controls the amount of information that can be stored in a cache. If you enter the value 1, only one record is retained in the cache. So larger the value, the larger cache it will be maintained. But in general, a small cache size works better for a very simple data structure. Then depreciation single, this is FA depreciation single. This enables cache reset after every asset when running the depreciation program. So this profile controls the caching buffer, and this is used when you run the depreciation process. So this cache can be reset after every 20 assets. So if we see the profile level options available here, I'll click on slide. So this is also yes or no. So if you will be enabling this after a set of 20 assets, the caches will be cleared if you select yes for this value. Sorry, no for the value, means if you select no, the cache is reset after every 20 assets. But if you enable this option, you click on yes, it will be reset after every asset. If you set this profile to yes only temporarily, you set this profile option as yes only temporarily if some assets failed previously when running the depreciation process. In this case, rerun the depreciation process for any sets of 20 assets that failed depreciation. When this profile option is set to yes, the log file provides information on each asset so that you can determine which asset is failed. When the asset has depreciated successfully, reset the profile options to no. Running depreciation with profile option set yes can slow your performance considerably. So in the case where your depreciation is failing, then you take this profile option as yes, and then in the log file you will get information of each of the asset which is failing for depreciation or not. So now talking about the batch size, which is the first one, and this specifies the batch size used to bulk processing in a mass process. So we have mass transaction processes, so the batch size we can determine from here. So if you will see here, if you click on add icon, here you have profile value options as so many amount. Sorry, means in one batch how many transactions or bulk processing you can do. The value indicates the number of records in a batch. For example, if you use the default value of 200, each batch can contain 200 records, and these value can be from 1 to 10,000. But again, it will affect your processing. So keeping that in mind, just use this option. Then this is FA default book. This specifies the book selected which will appear on your asset page. If you enable this option, see the use, this is enabled at profile level. So the user, and if I select Casey Brown here, I can specify the profile value for Casey Brown. So US Corp, whenever whenever Casey Brown will go to the asset page, the default book value will appear. And if you disable this, you must select the book from the menu in all asset page every time you go there. So this is the benefit of selecting this. Okay, so these were few options which we have discussed. So this way we can set the profile options. Now let's talk about lookups. So lookups help us we can define the lookups to provide a single asset query based on the content captured metadata field and corresponding list of fields to be returned in content capture metadata field. You can create, modify, and delete asset lookups configuration based on your Oracle content management assets. A single lookup definitions can be referenced by multiple other profiles that needs its lookup combination. You can create multiple lookups and associate them with the client's profile, allowing a desktop user to retrieve data in different ways. However, they may only include one lookup per search field. For example, they can have a lookup by vendor name and one by purchase order, but they cannot have two lookups that uses the vendor name. This helps you display an extra asset field to your user, but no value is stored in the content capture metadata field. Oracle Fusion contains certain predefined lookups that you cannot disable value for or add new values to. However, there are few lookups that allow you to disable values and also add some new values. So it all depends upon the lookup configuration level, as it helps you to check what level of customization is possible for your lookup type. Lookups in applications are used to represent a set of codes and their translated meaning. For example, a product team might store the value as y and no n in the column of a table, but when displaying those value, they would want you to display yes or no or their translated equivalents instead. Each set of related codes is defined as a lookup type. There are many different examples of these across multiple applications. So, however, in the application, if I look into this fixed assets lookup, no specific value I find here. If I look into any of the module name, but if we go to the task standard lookup from here, global search, manage standard lookups. If I search this task, I can see for assets, search. These are few of the standard codes defined. So there are many. So if I click on this show asset hierarchy, I can see the hierarchy sequence they have added, the lookup codes they have added: asset number, hierarchy, item, serial number, lot number, work order, work center. So this option helps you to search for the assets in a hierarchy. Okay, so this way we can define the lookup value. We can create the lookup type, and then we can have the lookup codes down in here. So asset tracking, asset transaction type. If I scroll down, these are the lookup codes: manual asset update, return for credit. Whatever is the description helps you identify for which this lookup has been created. So these are some standard lookups, and if I go to the common lookup, So one of the lookup type is created XX country, which is India country. Module is asset, secure type is secure, and then the lookup codes are provided, which means AP for is Andhra Pradesh, TS is for Telangana, KR is for Karnataka, and TN is for Tamil Nadu. So these options will be available based on your lookup type. You can simply enter the lookup type, then the meaning of it, and then to which module is it associated. And once these fields are filled, the lookup codes get activated, and then you can provide your code value here. So if your client wants any additional information to be provided, so this you can manage from these lookups codes creation. So this is about the lookups. Then comes the descriptive flex field. Descriptive flex field is in the application development determines the number of segments available for configuring. During implementation, configure the flex field by determining the following: the attributes to add using the available segments, context values, and the combination of attributes in each context. Use descriptive flex field to add attributes to business object entities and define validation for them. All the business object entities that you can use in an application are enabled for descriptive flex field. However, configuring descriptive flex field is an optional task. A descriptive flex field can have only one context segment to provide context sensitivity. The same underlying database column can be used by different segments in different contexts. So again, in application, if you see here in the fixed assets, financials, fixed assets, so there is a task in all tasks, as it is an optional task. Fixed asset descriptive flex fields. So again, for the specific module, I cannot find any of the information that might be provided seeded for the descriptive flex field. It's just like your key flex field and extensive flex field. Just to provide additional information, we can use these. So let's move to the global search, and there in the descriptive flex field we'll see the details available. Manage descriptive flex field. So here if I search the module as assets, here there are two of the flex fields defined. First is the asset. I'll go and edit. So this supports for user extensible field for the asset business objects. Application is your asset tracking. Asset criticality sequence 10 and 20 they have provided, and these are the information provided here. If you want to manage the segment labels, you can go from here, and for manage context you can configure context definitions and segment from here. So this is how we can configure the descriptive flex field. Same way they have specified for the asset qualification, but nothing has been configured after that. If I just click on search, yeah, just the descriptive flex field have been defined. No context has been mentioned. Like we deploy the flex field, same way we deploy the flex field here in the descriptive flex field area also. So this is a basic idea of descriptive flex fields and lookups. If we want to use them, how and from where we can use them. Now moving to the physical inventory part. Physical inventory can be used to ensure that the assets in your asset book physically exist in your books. Means we'll perform a physical verification and provide a report where we'll provide the location of all the assets there which are there in our organization, and then in Oracle Fusion we can check that that report is matching with the assets that we are maintaining in our Oracle assets. So you can use the physical inventory feature for this. You can record the existence, location, employee assignment, and the number of units for each asset that you have in your company. You can record physical inventory details for your asset manually or by using the barcode scanner. After recording the information, you can compare it with the information in your asset book and reconcile the discrepancies. Check the physical inventory in physical inventory checkbox when you add an asset. So when we were adding the asset, there is an option of in physical inventory. We need to check that asset if your company policy requires you to record that physical inventory for your asset. Only assets with the in physical inventory checkbox checked are considered for the physical inventory comparison. And let me show you. Whenever we go and create the asset, say sorry, I'll go to navigator. So in the assets, if I'll add any asset, I'll click on add asset. So let's provide the category quickly. Oh, let me take vehicle. Okay, now if I'm taking vehicle standard as one of the category, description I'll give it test. Cost is say okay, and location I am providing as US. I'm just taking values to elaborate what I'm saying. And say the building that building is in my that vehicle is placed in my office. So now when I click on next, so in physical inventory, this option helps you identify that do you want to uh, compare this asset with the inventory that is present in our organization. So you have to click on yes here and say if I submit and create this asset, you can upload the information collected during the physical verification of asset to the physical inventory interface table using the manage physical inventory spreadsheet. So this is the asset that is added. Let's just post it. The queue is new for this. I'll click on submit. Sorry, these details are not coming. Okay, I think it's already posted. See, yeah, it has been posted. Now if I go to the task list and from here if I go to manage physical inventory, this task will help me enter the physical verification report or values that has been taken. So if I enter my book value and inventory name, I'll give as test demo. Go. Okay, so this will be my file downloaded. Enable editing. It will ask you to log in. So let me check the asset number. Okay, recent addition. I have just now added one of the asset 1212646. Let me come here. So see, this is the whole list. You can provide the location, tag number, serial number, and the units that are present for this asset. So if I provide 1122646, the location, sorry, 646, the location provided is location segment of 4 in our case. So what was the location? It was USA, California, Los Angeles, and office. Okay, and unit is 1. So this way, if I have done the physical verification, I can provide the details here. The one which we used previously was okay 110040, and the location was, we have changed the location for this, so USA, California. This way the person who is doing the whole no, now this is moved to Atlanta, whole verification can provide the report, and then we can match it through the details that are there in our Oracle Fusion application. So I will enter these two. Let's see what happens. 1, submit. Okay. Okay, so a process is submitted. Row inserted successfully. Go to the application. Done. Manage physical inventory task. Here you can you have matched, the status is fully matched. You can click on review, and then again from this file you can review the details entered. Means if a junior has entered and a senior want to review that, it can be done from the spreadsheet. So no mismatch is there. Fully matched status is there. These are the details that has been auto populated once the details are matched. Okay. Now if I come to the application again and refresh, yeah, so this is fully matched. Now this way we can enter the other details also. This was a small topic where physical verification can be matched using this physical inventory task. Now moving to the create accounting part. So if you go to the task, here you can see the accounting section where create accounting, create adjustment journals, and review general entry options are available. So Whenever you have whenever we submit any task, process, whenever do we do any task, a process is submitted, and after that the general entries are created. If you run a depreciation, the general entries are automatically created by Oracle Assets. You can run the create accounting process, like for Feb month. If we run the create accounting process, we'll click on create accounting. It will ask you to provide the book, the end date, the accounting mode, and then all the details like post to ledger, transfer to ledger. And if you submit this, it will provide you one of the process ID. Okay, this process ID you can monitor from your scheduled processes. So in the scheduled processes, from scheduled processes also you can run the create accounting. In that case, you have to select the application as the fixed asset. So you will run create accounting for fixed asset, and then you can provide the details. There is a seeded process. Whatever task has been undertaken, whatever the assets has been added, retirement, impairment, and everything that has been taken place, the system will run the accounting for that all processes. Till this is running, okay, this is completed. Warning, it's ending with a warning. That means there are few exceptions, and to look into that exception, you will have to select this process ID, and then you will find the execution report. So in the execution report, there may be few exceptions. Those exceptions we need to fix before closing the period. So you can download this report. As this is a practice instance, there are many things done here, so we cannot fix all the issues. But in the real environment, you can fix the issues, and then you can just close the period by running the depreciation, of course. So this is how the whole exception report looks like. So number of transaction process are additions are 3, periodic depreciation are 8, the lease expenses is 33, and that is only in the error stage. We are not concerned with the lease, so we'll not look into that. So this is how the exception report comes into place, and then then we need to fix those issues. So this is all about the create accounting. Now let's see how to create the subledger journal. So I'll go to the asset workbench again. So if at the end of the month I need to perform any adjustments, then I can perform those adjustments by create adjustment journal. In this webinar, we have seen almost all the transactions that are there, and in the general area and in the accounting area, whatever fields are mentioned. Let's re-log in. I think this is not working. Create adjustment journal is a simple task, as we create journals in our GL. Same way we need to provide the details and create the journal. So I'll select US primary ledger. General source is assets. Accounting date, say as my Feb month is open, so I'll take Feb, 28th Feb. And status is, if you are posting it directly, you can take the completion status as final. If you're creating it in draft mode, then you can select incomplete and then you can post it after reviewing it. Category you can mention as adjustment. Okay, now for subledger general entry, click on add. Say I am transferring the depreciation amount to a depreciation reserve. So I'll take the account as 68110. Okay, 68120 is there. So this is depreciation, building and improvements. And I am now moving it from accounting class is adjustment, and say I am moving, I'll credit this because my depreciation is a debit account. I'll say 50 and I will provide the reserve account. So this is a depreciation reserve adjustment account. I am debiting my adjustment account and I am crediting my depreciation account. Based on your adjustment entry, you can create this. Okay, you want to provide the supporting reference, you can provide it from here, and I'll click on save. As my completion status is final, it should give me the option of post. Now post this entry, so this will be posted to your general ledger finally. Just save and close. So this is how we can create the adjustment entry. Now if you want to review it or review the general entries for any period for that matter, you can go to review general entries. You need to select your ledger, your general source as assets, and for the, say, from January period, if I need to see all the transactions that are in the final mode, I can click on search and all the entries will be appearing here. So revaluation has been done, then addition has been done, then transfer, the adjustment entry, and the, if you scroll little down, you can see the depreciation entry as well. So periodic depreciation that has been applied, the retirement entry. So after selecting one of the entry from here, say if I select this retirement entry, I need to scroll a little down, and this is my general entry, the accounts that has been debited and credited. And if you want to view the general entry, you can go to the option view general entry. So you can see the description is provided, and if you want to see the transaction, you can click on view transaction. It will drill down to the transaction details as well. Okay, so the convention type used, the net book value that was retired, and what was the date of retired, what was the current cost, all details will be appearing here. If you want to see the in account format, the T account format, that you can see from this actions, all the details which account is debited and credited, the information will be available. So this is how we create the accounting, we run the process, and after that, just from here you can go and close the period. After calculating the depreciation and the lease expenses, the period can be closed, and those errors needs to be fixed first, the exception error, and then you can proceed. So this was all about the fixed assets and the topics that we have almost covered, all the topics. So hope you find it helpful, and thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thanks.